river of 18,500 cubic meters of concrete was poured in under 2 days, forming a massive foundation to support a 385-meter tower that towers over the desert skyline. Elsewhere in the world, a 20-lane highway, wide enough to land an airplane, slices through a remote jungle yet remains hauntingly empty. Engineers are building entire artificial ecosystems, including a man-made lake holding 650 million cubic meters of water, and designing a new capital city where trees will outnumber people across an area that is 75% green forest. Why are we constructing these colossal cities in some of the planet's most challenging environments? These are 5 of the boldest engineering feats in human history. Megacapitals built from scratch, deep in the rainforests of Borneo. Indonesia is spending $35 billion to build a new capital called Nusantara. Their current capital, Jakarta, is the fastest sinking city on Earth, so they are abandoning it and starting fresh in the jungle. The vision is a futuristic utopia, a smart forest city where technology and nature coexist. The city will cover an enormous 2,561 square kilometers, nearly 5 times the size of a city like Madrid. According to official plans, over 75% of the government district will remain green, and every resident will be within a 10-minute walk of a park. The engineering behind this dream is astonishing. To handle the jungle's torrential rains, they are building a sponge city, using porous surfaces, green roofs, and special channels to absorb and store rainwater naturally, preventing floods. The entire city is designed to run on 100% renewable energy, targeting zero carbon emissions by 2045. Buildings will be equipped with thousands of sensors to manage energy, while transportation will be dominated by electric and autonomous vehicles. The goal is a high-tech city that literally breathes with the forest, a blueprint for a sustainable future. But this green dream hides a difficult truth. The site is a mix of swampland, peat bog, and dense rainforest, home to endangered animals like orangutans and sun bears. To build, you first have to destroy. Construction crews are clearing land and cutting massive roads through ancient wildlife corridors. While the government promises extensive reforestation, progress has been slow. Experts warn that many of the new trees are the wrong species, creating sterile plantations rather than a thriving rainforest. Most of this $35 billion project is privately funded, but many investors remain hesitant due to political risks and construction challenges, leaving doubts over whether this forest city will ever be completed. If carving a city out of a living jungle seems impossible, what does it take to build one in the middle of a barren desert, 45 kilometers east of Cairo, on sun-baked desert land? Egypt is erecting a new administrative capital. This project dwarfs Nusantara, with a $58 billion price tag. It's designed to house more than 6.5 million people across 700 square kilometers. The goal is to relieve the crushing congestion of Cairo, home to over 20 million residents. But this new capital is more than a solution. It is a statement. It's a modern-day pyramid, showcasing Egypt's power. At the heart of the city lies the central business district, dominated by the iconic tower, at 394 meters. It is the tallest building in Africa. Constructing a skyscraper of this magnitude on sand is an engineering nightmare. Its foundation is a 5-meter-thick concrete raft, created through a continuous 38-hour pour, a record-breaking feat requiring thousands of workers and military-level precision. The tower is just the beginning. The city will also feature a massive sports complex with a stadium for over 93,000 fans, a new international airport, and a high-tech metro system. The centerpiece is the Green River, a 35-kilometer park designed to be twice the size of New York's Central Park, pumping millions of liters of water from the Nile through new treatment plants and pipelines is necessary to sustain this desert oasis. However, this grand vision comes at a steep cost. The $58 billion budget is heavy for a country facing economic challenges. Critics argue it diverts funds from existing urban needs. Additionally, the city primarily caters to the wealthy. A 2-bedroom apartment can cost around $50,000, unaffordable for most Egyptians. There are fears the new capital will become an exclusive enclave for government officials and the rich, leaving millions behind in a deteriorating Cairo. But what if a city is built not for the wealthy but for no one at all? Enter Naypyidaw, Myanmar's capital. For times the size of London, it has a 20-lane highway running through its center. But almost no traffic. Grand government buildings stand empty. Luxury hotels have no guests. In 2005, Myanmar's secretive military regime announced the capital's move from bustling Yangon to this remote jungle site. Constructed secretly since 2002, the city's layout is bizarre until you understand its purpose. Covering over 7,000 square kilometers, it was designed to keep people apart. Government, military, and residential zones are separated by vast distances, making walking between them nearly impossible. There is almost no public transportation. The infamous 20-lane highway stretches 4 kilometers in a straight, flat line, leading many to believe it could serve as an emergency runway for military aircraft. Naypyidaw is a fortress. Its inland location shields it from sea attacks, while the wide open spaces prevent large gatherings or protests. Unlike crowded Yangon, the city cost roughly $4 to $5 billion, an enormous sum for one of Asia's poorest nations, spent entirely on controlled infrastructure rather than community development. Schools and hospitals for ordinary citizens are scarce, and government workers were forced to relocate, leaving families behind. The result is a hollow city, a chilling example of urban design used as a tool of power. Is it possible to build a capital that truly works? A city that learns from these mistakes? Just 25 kilometers south of Malaysia's congested capital, Kuala Lumpur, lies Putrajaya. Initiated in the late 1990s on former rubber and palm plantations, the city was initially criticized as a sterile ghost town. Today, with over 120,000 residents, it is seen as a quiet success story, a model for creating an effective administrative center. The secret lies in brilliant environmental engineering. At its heart is a 400-hectare man-made lake holding more than 23 million cubic meters of water to maintain water quality without a massive concrete treatment plant. Engineers built the largest constructed freshwater wetland in the tropics, spanning 197 hectares. This wetland acts as the city's natural filtration system, divided into 24 cells filled with plants and rock beds that remove pollutants before water reaches the main lake. This living system keeps the lake clean, provides habitat for wildlife, and cools the surrounding city. Putrajaya embodies the Garden City concept. Nearly 40% of its 49 square kilometer area is green space, parks, and water. The $8.1 billion project took over a decade to attract residents, but its smaller scale and focus on livability proved a winning formula. But what if the environment itself is hostile? Welcome to Astana, Kazakhstan's capital. Built on the flat, empty steppe, one of the coldest capitals on Earth, temperatures can drop to -35 degrees Celsius in winter and soar to 35 degrees Celsius in summer. Constructing a thriving city here demanded some of the most innovative engineering on the planet, with futuristic structures defying reality. The most famous landmark is the Khan Shatter, meaning Tent of Khan, at 150 meters tall and covering 100,000 square meters. It is the world's largest tent, larger than 10 football fields. Its fabric is a high-tech ETFE plastic layered for insulation and sunlight. Inside, an advanced climate system maintains 15 to 30 degrees Celsius year-round, housing an indoor park, mall, boating river, and beach resort with sand and palm trees. Some are inside while a blizzard rages outside. Warm air jets prevent ice from forming on the giant inner surface. Nearby stands the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, a 62-meter-tall glass and steel pyramid designed by Norman Foster. Extreme temperature swings threatened its frame, which expands and contracts 30 centimeters. Engineers used bridge bearings on 3 corners, locking one corner in place, allowing the pyramid to breathe with the seasons, a technique never before used in building construction. These incredible projects transform remote or extreme locations into futuristic marvels. Yet they raise a question about our urban future. Which approach will succeed? The cities that mimic and restore nature, or those that build machines to escape it? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world's most ambitious mega projects, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next exploration.